So what we're watching right now is the introduction, the opening credits to AMC's Turn, and by this point, you all being very intelligent children have likely figured out that that angry letter I wrote you wasn't really an angry letter. It was a secret message, right? Alright, I'm good like that. So while we're watching the intro here, it's because I want to point out a very specific part, right here. You see how that just shifted down on the paper? That's something called a Cardan grill. It was created by Girolamo Cardano. Like most awesome things, he was Italian, and in the 1500s he decided that an excellent way to encode a message would be to write a letter, a normal seeming, unimportant letter, but put a secret message in there that could only be viewed by lining up a grill or a mask on top of the letter. So what he would do is he'd take a piece of metal or a piece of paper, kind of like this right here. This is actually a scene from Turn, and he would cut holes in it. And then he would write his message in those holes. And then he would craft a letter around it to cover up his message. The only way that someone else could read it is if they also had the same grill. So this is obviously a fairly complicated method of encoding. It was simple to do, but it was very difficult to do well. You always had the problem of letters becoming suspicious because they would make no sense. By hiding the message in the letter, you had to make what you were writing about fit those words and where they hit in the grill. So you could send one grill and then use it over and over again with multiple letters, but it became tougher and tougher to make the letters you were writing fit that grill and still make sense. Now, grills could be used in multiple positions, so they could be used upside down, they could be used flipped left to right, so it was possible to use the same grill and encode more than one message in a letter. It was also possible to use completely different grills on the same letter. You'll notice that all the letters I gave you are identical, but there are 5 different messages hidden in them that you can only see depending on the grill that you have. And in this scene from the very first episode of Turn on AMC, we are following Abraham Woodhull, one of the spies of the Culper Ring, as he attempts to gather intelligence from a British officer. So he's going into the British officer's home and trying to find any kind of intelligence or information that he can. So it's certainly a risky thing. But more importantly, what's going to happen here is we're going to see one of the other dangers of the Cardan system, or the Cardano system, using a Cardan grill, where once the grill and the letter were received, it could then be stolen or intercepted, and the information would almost surely be found out, particularly in this case if the recipient was stupid enough to leave the grill directly next to the letter. So there's the copper grill. It doesn't take Woodhull very long to figure it out. He finds letters or a journal. He lays the grill over it, and that is how he gets the message. So right there you can see him popping open a tube, pulling out a letter. So there was a officer in the British Army, Sir Henry Clinton, who was very, very fond of this method of encrypting information, so fond to the point where the Patriots quite quickly figured this out and were able to start breaking down this system and uncovering his messages. So we're going to watch Woodhull as it sort of dawns on him what he has to do. Takes the grill, lays it over the letter, and shockingly quickly the message becomes clear. And he's about to take off in just a second, and if you hadn't figured out that my angry letter was not an angry letter, perhaps you should be taking off right about now as well.